Without further ado, it's my pleasure to invite our first speaker, Amy Wee, CEO of Amazing at Home e-commerce consulting, presenting on gaining a competitive edge with AI-powered business operation. Let's welcome Amy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. How's everything going? How's everybody seeing amazing things here at Global Sources? I've seen some really cool tech, some really cool things coming out, and just everything, and even the home and lifestyle products has been really amazing. So happy to be here once again for Global Sources. The last time I was here in October, I was talking about product development using artificial intelligence. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about utilizing artificial intelligence to streamline your business operations. How many of you, by show of hands, are already using AI in your business? Okay. And how many people would consider yourselves, when you're using AI, would you consider yourself a beginner, intermediate, or expert? How many people consider themselves a beginner? You're kind of just getting started? Okay, good. And how many people would consider themselves intermediate to expert? Yulia, of course. You're going to hear her in just a second. So wonderful. It's great to know where the audience is coming from. And hopefully today I'm going to give you some insights into how to utilize AI in your business. And for those of you standing back here, feel free to come inside and take a seat. So from the beginning, we need to understand that artificial intelligence is actually a key player in the future of business operations. Today, I want to explore how AI is not just a buzzword, but it's a tool that enhances your efficiency across various business operations so that we can do more with less. How many of you have utilized AI already to do more with less? Right? How are you, Ariel, using more? How are you doing more with less? Give me an example. Automated messages. So like customer service messages? Amazing. Okay. Anyone else? How are you using AI right now? Yes, sir. Compliance? Ooh, a good use case. I like it. All right. Very good. So let's talk about what is this kind of new version of artificial intelligence. AI has been around for a long time. It's not new. But some of the large language models that are out right now, like ChatGPT, like Google Bard, like Claude, they are really becoming popular in operationalizing our businesses. So what do they do? The key things is, number one, they mimic human intelligence. So when we have an artificial intelligence model that can mimic our own intelligence, this can be very, very helpful for us because it can multiply us, right? The second thing is that AI can iteratively improve based on the information that is collected. So it learns the more information you give it. So it continues to learn and it continues to improve. And isn't that what we all expect from our employees and the people that we work with, right? We humans try to learn from our experience and continue to improve. So it's great that artificial intelligence can do the same thing. Also, the third thing, it can analyze large sets of data faster and more accurately than a human can. So that's really, really a key thing for it to do, is be able to really get through large sets of data. I was filing a medical claim, and I actually trained AI on 400 pages of my medical records. That allowed me to very quickly upload one document and ask it any questions. Hey, have I ever had problems with my hips? Have I ever had problems with this? I don't know all that medical jargon. It does. So there's so many ways that you can get through tons of information in a very short period of time. Thinking about employee training manuals, all the sorts of things like dealing with your customers and all of the information that your company already has. You can dump all of that into a trained AI and utilize it to interface with your customers, to interface with your employees. And I'm going to give you some examples today of how you can do that. So some common misconceptions. How many people have heard AI is going to replace you? You're going to get replaced by AI, right? Like a lot of people have heard that. I mean, it's not replacing human jobs. it's augmenting them. So the fact here is that AI requires oversight and human input. It's not just going to go off on its own and take over things, right? So it's really important that we realize it's a tool, and it's not going to take over. It's going to help you, and it requires your input. So let's talk about some common uses for AI in business. The first is content creation. So, and at the end, for those people taking pictures, at the end, I will give you my email, and if you'd like a copy of the slides, I'm happy to send them to you. So content creation. How many of you are utilizing AI right now for blog posts, for image generation, for any content videos creation? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So that's a very, very popular use for it right now. We're seeing a lot of that. Customer interactions. That's another one that's really, really popular. Now you can train an AI on all of your data, how you talk to customers, all of your information, and it can respond for you, sometimes faster and better than you can yourself in your business. So I'm going to give you some examples of how to automate that today. And then finally, operational efficiency. So what does that mean? Analyzing data to inform business decisions and predict trends. So I'm going to give you an example of how you can do that today as well. So AI can very quickly take all of your data and analyze it and give you summarized results that can help you make informed decisions in your business. So how do you know what to automate and streamline in your business? This is one of the biggest questions I get in my AI consultations. People ask, where do I start? How do I know what to automate? How do I know what to do? And the easy way to look at that is, number one, identify repetitive tasks. So what sorts of things are you or your employees doing in your business over and over and over again? Oh, if a customer sends an email or fills out this form on our website, then we're responding to them with this. And I would bet that you're not following up. How many leads are you losing? I see that. There we go. Okay, we got it, right? So that's the thing, is we have all these repetitive tasks that we do. We have lead generations on our websites, things like that. We have customers reaching out to us. And how many of those leads just fall by the wayside because we would really like to follow up with them, but we forget? Well, what if you were able to actually utilize AI and, hey, in 2 weeks, send a reminder email to this customer, right? Actually craft the email to the customer. So identify those repetitive tasks, things that you're doing over and over again, also things that you're missing because you're not nailing those repetitive tasks. And then once you have that, then you can actually build out a workflow. And I'm going to show you how to build workflows today, okay? The second thing that's really important is that once you've identified some of these processes that you want to automate, identify the risks. How many of you have ever had a conversation with ChatGPT and the information it gave you back was like really jacked, like it was not good information? Okay, yeah, we've all been there, right? So we want to be careful about the things that we automate. We want to test and tweak this so that we make sure that we're having consistent results, okay? Because we do have some risks in blindly trusting technology. So we want to make sure we take the time to do that, okay? So some great examples of things that you can automate. Number one, content creation, blogs. So that's a great way to automate. I'm going to show you some examples today. Product listings. If you have product listings, whether you're a manufacturer or you're a brand owner, you can create product listings on your websites. You can create product listings on your on Amazon, eBay, wherever you're selling your products. It's a great way to do it because you can give AI your competitor data, and that allows you to let AI tell you exactly what you should include in your product listing to sell more and beat your competitors. It's a wonderful tool to use in that way because it can analyze your competitors better than you can, okay? Finally, the customer service response templates. So I'm working with a company right now helping them look at their whole process of onboarding a customer from start to finish and what can they do to actually customize the process and the responses that they send customers along the way to make sure that they're really taking care of that customer in the best way possible. So this is something else that you can do. All right, so some tools that empower automation. Everybody always asks me, but how do I do that? What's AI? Do I just Google AI? Like, how do I do it, right? What do I do? So it's important to note, as I mentioned in the very beginning, AI is a tool. It's an enabler. And so how many of you are already using automation tools in your business, like Make.com, Zapier? Okay, great. So if you're already using these automation tools, great. You can actually add tools like ChatGPT into them now and make really great workflows. And I'm going to show you examples of that. If you're not, what are you doing? You should be using these tools, right? These tools are the way that you can integrate all the different apps that you use in your business to make incredible workflows. And I'm going to show you some examples of that today. But utilizing some of these tools, even ChatGPT for Google Sheets, I've used that to call the ChatGPT API and build content generating tools inside of a Google Sheet. It's really, really incredible. And then I use Zapier to take that content and actually integrate it with Google Docs, and it will actually create the document for me. It'll put a task in Asana for my employees so that they can go and publish it. So this is the way that I'm able to build workflows, by utilizing apps like Zapier and Make.com that integrate the rest of the tools that I'm using. So do you guys want to see some examples of how you can do this? Yeah, let's go. I love it. Okay, so first of all, just getting started on this. The one thing that you can do up here in the top left, exploring custom GPTs. So inside, if you're a pro member of OpenAI's ChatGPT, you can actually click on custom GPTs or explore GPTs. You click on that little explore GPTs button that I'm showing here, right? That will take you to a bunch of GPTs that other people have already built that you can use, or you can click on create in the upper right-hand corner and you can create your own custom GPT. Like I told you about the one I did for my medical records, right? That was a custom GPT that I built to train it on an excessive amount of documents that I wanted to ask questions about, right? So you can do the same thing. Think of your customer service manuals. Think about your business SOPs, right? You can literally build your own GPT, and you don't even have to make it public. You can make it private to just you and train it on all of this, and then you can ask it questions so that every time you wonder, oh man, it's time to do that quarterly report again. Where's that template? How does that work? If you've already fed that information into a custom GPT, you just name it for that, go to it, and you ask it a question. It already knows. You've trained it, right? So this is a great way to be more efficient in your business. Second is automation templates. So right inside of Zapier, if you look for this blog post, how to automate ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you some examples there, but right inside of Zapier, they actually show you all the different things that you can do, common things that you can do. And there's a lot of great ways to automate your business. The third thing that I recommend is just have a conversation with your AI. Start conversating. If you're not sure if it can do something, ask it. Hey, I'm having this problem. I'm trying to do this, and here's the information that the person sent me. Here's the document that I'm reading and I don't understand it. Can you help me? Ask it. Start having conversations. I did this the other day. I had to file a trademark with the USPTO, like a trademark renewal. And I was like, man, I think I can do this myself. But I started reading up on the pages, on the help pages on the USPTO website, and it was so much jargon that I didn't understand. So what did I do? I went into my friend ChatGPT and I was like, I'm going to give you the link to this page that I'm reading. Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to renew my trademark. Like, can you tell me what I'm supposed to do from here? Like, give me some step-by-step because I don't understand this. Sure enough, it walked me through step-by-step. And then I went in and started filling out the form. And I said, okay, I don't understand what to put for this part of the form. It already had all that data. It knew exactly what to put. It explained all of it to me in plain English. And in under 10 minutes, I had filed my trademark renewal. I mean, if you're wondering if it can help you, ask it, right? Same thing with Microsoft Copilot, same thing with Bard. Try them all. I love comparing the responses. It's a lot of fun. And finally, the best way to learn is to join communities. So join Discord has a really great, there's an OpenAI Discord chat. There's a bunch of different really, really great communities across Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of, even LinkedIn has some great AI communities. So join those communities. Join the conversation. There's a lot of great ways to learn. That's how I learned, okay? So these are just some ways to get started. Now let's talk about what can you call OpenAI's ChatGPT to do for you, right? What can you use the API for? So the first thing is to analyze text sentiment. So you can look at a ton of text and say, you know, is this positive? Is it negative? Is it neutral? Can you summarize it, right? You can ask it to check for moderation. So you could check for, you know, you could moderate different emails that you get, different information, lots of information at once. You can create a translation. So how many of you would like to expand to other foreign markets where you don't speak the language? Guess what? Now you can translate your web pages, you can translate your documents, and it's very, very accurate. You can even create videos with AI voices that will automatically change your video where you're speaking English or another language to that customer's native language. So what's stopping you from expanding? Nothing. Only your use and knowledge of how you can utilize AI for this, okay? So generating images with DALL-E built in, classifying text, it can put text into specific categories, it can create a transcription, it can generate images, and you can send prompts to it. So those are just some of the capabilities that you can call the API for before I gave you these examples of how to build this into your workflow. So here's some examples of what you can do with these workflows. The first one is you can actually build and interact with AI assistants in other apps. So you can build your own AI assistant that can chat with your team members or customers and solve issues in other apps. So you could, for example, you could create an accounting assistant that can answer employee questions in a specific Slack channel. You can create an analysis assistant that can analyze blog performance or KPIs, right? So here's some of the example workflows that you can build. Let's actually go deeper into one of these examples. So here's the example. Create a ChatGPT assistant to analyze content. So this particular one uses Google Docs. So whenever a new document lands in a specific Google Doc folder, it triggers an in-depth analysis by a ChatGPT assistant, which examines the content for key insights. And after it analyzes the content, this Zap sends the analysis, for example, how well did this content perform, to your team via Gmail. Now, let's say you don't use Gmail. Maybe you use Outlook. Let's say you don't use Google Docs. Maybe you use Dropbox and Microsoft Docs. It doesn't matter. Any of these apps will work with this workflow. So switch it out for the apps that you use, but could you see this being helpful to you, right? Whenever a new document is put somewhere, analyze it and send key insights. That's really, really a great way for us to streamline content and data with our team. So a second example, utilizing AI to nurture and qualify your leads. For sales and marketing teams, determining which leads are most likely to convert is a process that takes up valuable time and resources. Do we agree? We get tons of leads. We don't know which ones are going to buy from us. So what if we gave that to AI to do, right? So we can use all of these different apps where we can add or update leads based on something that they do. So AI can log activities such as a new free trial and add these leads to your campaigns automatically. You don't need a person to go through this. It can connect to these apps. It can analyze what's going on there. And if it meets certain criteria, it can send it right to your lead ad sheet, right? How wonderful is that? You can utilize AI to summarize sales calls with your prospects so your teams know who's ready to convert. Wouldn't it be great to just, after a sales call is done, to get a summarized email with, hey, this is what the key things were, and this is, what this client is interested in, instead of having to listen to the whole call again, right? You could even add in an automation that creates a task for that specific salesperson to follow up. How great will that be, right? So let's look at a specific example here. Including new leads and contacts into nurture campaigns based on recent website activity. So let's say a lead goes to your website, right? And as soon as they look at, as soon as they show interest and intent, maybe they filled out a form, maybe they, filled out your contact, maybe they chatted with your bot, whatever it is. As soon as that lead comes to your website, you can actually then find the contact in HubSpot, for example, and then you can have a conversation. So this one sends a chat to OpenAI to generate a completion, storing messages as we do, right? So it'll actually store the message, create a summary of that message, and then based on how ChatGPT analyzes that lead coming in and what action they took on your website, now they can actually subscribe or unsubscribe a contact from a specific list. So maybe you have a specific list that starts a workflow or starts an automation for a specific lead form, right? Now you can take that extra step. How many of you have gotten plenty of contacts that fill out the lead form on your website, but they're just junk contacts? It's just like, oh man, this person is trying to sell me something. They don't want to buy from me. They're trying to sell me something, and it's totally irrelevant. Let AI take care of that for you. Right now, I have an assistant manually going through and deleting these things, right? If I implement this workflow, I can automatically unsubscribe them from my list. I can add them to follow-up lists, things like that. So this is a really, really great use of automating workflows with AI. All right, next example. Generating and sharing content. So you can create custom blog outlines, emails, and articles. So how many of you have ever gotten big, long questions from customers, right? They'll send you you ever gotten a really long email from a customer and you're like, I don't even know how to start explaining. I don't even know how to contact this person or how to explain. So don't you think it would be great to have ChatGPT understand what customers are asking and automatically generate blogs for your website based on these common questions? That would be so smart, right? Then you have the content about this on your website. You can even train a chat bot that automatically pulls these blogs that are written based on certain questions and sends them to the customer when they chat with the bot. Great. Now you've got really informed customer service and great SEO for your website. So in this case, let's say they submitted interview questions. You could pull in the customer details from any form like Google Forms or Airtable. Get AI to write the content and then add that text into a Google Doc, which then you could publish on your website. Again, if you use different apps, fine, you can integrate those apps. It's just a matter of knowing that these are the capabilities, right? So here's the specific example. We want it to actually draft and send a customer email. So anytime you receive an email, what this Zap does is it sends a chat to ChatGPT with the details of that email, and then it drafts a response and sends it for you. You can even have it draft the response and just leave it in your inbox so that you can click send if you would like, right? And then once you know it's really, really good at what it does, you can alter the automation for it to automatically send the email. Would this be helpful for you to have a GPT that automatically sends emails for you based on the context of what the customer wrote? Could be helpful, right? So very easy to do. All right. Another thing you can do is turn their questions into content. So you can create blog posts or outlines from new responses in Google Forms or any form tool that you use, Jot form, there's tons of different form tools, but this is just an example. So let's say somebody fills out a form on your website, maybe asking for, maybe you offer pay-per-click advertising services, and they're like, hey, do you do this? Do you do this? What about this? Well, now you can send that data from the form into ChatGPT, have a conversation with ChatGPT, and then it can automatically create a blog based on that. How great would that be, right? Now you have content for your website. All right, last example here is that you can summarize and communicate key information. So how many of you try your best to read industry news? Right, you get the newsletters to your inbox and you're like, man, I'm trying to keep up with all of it. And I want to share it with my team, right? Well, you can actually ask AI to find those newsletters when they come into your inbox, read them, summarize them, get key insights from whatever you care about in your company, and send those key insights in a summary form either to you or your team or to both via Slack, via whatever kind of chat interface you use with your team. Would that be helpful? Do you feel like if you have specific teams and you're reading specific newsletters, let AI read it for you? With Zapier or Make.com, you're able to integrate this with your existing inbox and let it search for specific emails, summarize the data, send it to your team. How great is that? So we can make it our best friend in that way. So this is an example of how that workflow would look. So let's say that you have a new file, you're using Dropbox, and any big industry documents or whatever that you want it to summarize, you just drop them in that Dropbox folder. The minute you put a document in that folder, Zapier is triggered to convert that document into a PDF. Makes it easy for ChatGPT to read it, right? Then it sends that document to a conversation with ChatGPT, and then it sends a Slack message to your team with key insights and summaries. It's very easy to set up, and something that even if you didn't want to do the Dropbox with new file folder, you could actually have it search your email for specific subject lines or from specific publications, and then do the same thing. So this is an example of some workflows that can save you some time. There are so many options. As I reminded you guys, if you're using different apps than the apps that I showed you today, you can swap them out. If you would like to try Make.com, which is free, you can also look that up. There's great YouTube videos on this, like how common automations. There's tons of blog posts on this. And then if you want to create your own GPT, just do a simple internet search. And here's what I found today. All you do is click create a GPT and prompt the builder, create the name and profile figure, configure your GPT, and publish, right? So easy to learn this stuff. Just take the time to look it up and learn it. So in summary, I want you guys to be faster and more productive with AI. It's not replacing you, it's enabling you and making you better than you could ever be. I used to have a team of copywriters. I no longer have a team of copywriters. You guys, I own 4 companies. I own a trade show in Jordan. I own a trade show in Mexico. I own my own brand of pet products. And I have a consulting and marketing firm. I run those 4 companies with 3 people. How do I do that? They all use AI. I've been able to let go of all my content writers because I don't need them anymore. I know how to prompt AI, so does my team, right? So allow it to make you better, make you more productive. Don't be replaced by companies who are utilizing AI to its fullest capabilities, because that's what's going to happen, right? It's not going to take our jobs. People utilizing it properly to maximize their productivity, that's what's going to take our jobs, right? So get in there, give it a try. Remember, AI is an enabler. So it's a tool you can use to make yourself better, right? So try it for content creation, customer interactions, ops efficiencies, identify your most repetitive tasks that you want to automate, and utilize integration tools to add AI into your workflows the same way I showed you guys how to do today. And my last piece of advice for you is stop waiting. Just start. Have that conversation with AI, right? Like just start, get moving, right? Because you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So if you would like an AI consultation, if you would like help with your company in implementing AI, building AI into your workflows, you can go to amazingathome.com/coach. You can book an AI consultation with me. Also, if you'd like a copy of today's slides, send me an email at info@amazingathome.com and just put in the subject line, I want a copy of the slides. Introduce yourself, say hello. I'd love to get to know you and know that you were here. But yeah, send me an email and be happy to send you a copy of the slides today as well. All right, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, for your sharing, as well as your examples on how AI can enhance business operation. And now we will have our Q&A session. So if there are any questions to Amy, please raise your hand. We will pass the microphone to you.
I run a tech company too, right? So recently we have faced a problem with Google algorithm update. We were maintaining our clients' SEO, right?
Okay.
So the reason Google algorithm, right, they blacklisted a lot of sites which was generated the content copies by AI. So how we can overcome that?
So what you're saying is Google blacklisted your site because you were utilizing AI.
Lot of sites which we created, right? So
Because you were utilizing AI-generated content.
yeah, AI generated contents.
Okay.
We also use the premium AI tools, but it blacklisted, which make the sites to get into the last pages.
Got it. Yeah, so that is a common problem, especially when people are blindly using AI and not building out prompts that create really great content. So, and that's happening because there's so many people creating content with AI right now. It's really important. So there's several GPTs that have been built. Actually, if you go explore GPTs, you'll see there's several that have been built that can actually detect whether or not it looks like it's been written by AI, and they can actually rewrite an article to fix that. So it's built with that, it's trained in AI to do that. So what I would recommend is that you take a second look at those sites and the content that was generated, and you start understanding how to build those types of tools, AI detectors, things like that, into your workflows, so that before you're publishing new content on your sites, you're making sure that you're doing those checks. Just like before we had something like ChatGPT or large language models to make content, what did we do? We did plagiarism checks. You're still owed that due diligence, right? You still got to do your due diligence. Same thing people ask me with, like, well, yeah, what if I use these images? Can I just publish them? Well, yeah, if you generated it, you can, but you still are responsible if you created a specific product design with AI. Doesn't mean you don't have to check patents. Doesn't mean you don't have, right? Like, we all still have to do our due diligence. If we create something from scratch, something that we think is our own brain, and it turns out, oh, someone else already had that idea. So you still have that responsibility, and I would just remind you to work it into your workflows so that in the future, I'm seeing so many new content creation engines that are creating websites. There's even AI website generators that I love, Dora and Gamma, right? But build a workflow that double checks the content so that you make sure that you're building ranking content fast instead of tanking content fast.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question.
Once again, thank you very much, Amy.